Welcome to That 80s Show, the home of alcoholic vegans. Dori.
Yes.
Dori.
But that is such a private joke no one's ever going to get, but it's okay.
They must not get it. That's what That 80s Show is all about.
Not getting us.
Not understanding what things are all about. Dori, you may notice there is a very specific smell in the studio today. Smells like 80s man. 80s man deodorant. Mm-hmm. All will be revealed a little bit later.
I also noticed you're wearing an AHA t-shirt.
I am wearing an AHA t-shirt. How much do you think I paid for this very fine vintage t-shirt?
600 rand.
Okay, good. Okay, I don't feel so bad. I paid 300 rand and it's evidently a second-hand t-shirt.
Huh. Not too bad.
Okay.
You didn't buy it at the concert.
No, this is like, it's very faded,
old.
very old looking.
It's nice.
It's fantastic.
I don't have an AHA t-shirt.
No, and you know what I like about it? Because you get the concert t-shirts and they tend to have concert dates on it.
Yeah. I quite like that, but yeah.
It's not bad, but I mean, this is better.
Cool.
It's better. You can kind of see Morton somewhere. There he is. Look beautiful.
Yeah. Beautiful Morton.
Got a story next week about Morton, about how he's an eco-warrior saving the earth. But so much stuff to talk about this week. I didn't have space to fit it in, Dori.
Before we start this week, can I quickly give some feedback on the Esprit that cousin Louis bought me?
To go back a few weeks ago, to go back many times ago, Dori was a miscreant youth, used to drink Esprit on her way home from school. Mm-hmm. And as a joke, because that's what that 80 show is all about, cousin Louis got her a bottle of Esprit for her birthday.
Yes.
And we gifted it to Dori, and I assume you drank it.
I tasted it. Mm-hmm. It was disgusting.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, couldn't drink it. Look, to be fair, new flavor. Different flavor to what I had in the 80s. Really not good. Sorry, cousin Louis. I appreciate the thought, but it was undrinkable.
I think it's good to specify because in 80s you had pineapple, you had like basic flavors. This was like an apple
with a twist of cherry or something like that. It was not good.
Yeah. You know what?
Also, it was the first, not the first alcohol, but it was the first major alcohol that I drank as a teenager.
It's like when you used to have a sip of your dad's beer.
Well, I used to have a sip of my dad's Sanzano when I was 4 or 5 years old, which was always delicious.
Geez, like did you follow it up with a Campari maybe?
Dude, it was the 70s. Mm-hmm. So giving alcohol to your children was literally just any other day, a normal day.
Yeah, we're like just all in France, basically.
And I did not grow up to be an alcoholic. In fact, quite the opposite. I barely drink at all now.
No, that's good. Me, on the other hand, I love a toot. No, you know what? I'm actually, I love beer.
Yes.
I'm a beer connoisseur.
Yes.
I love tasting all different sorts of beers. And I found a beer, why would they do this to us? From Craft Shack called the Alvarado Street Delorean Dust IPA, a beer based, if you will just look at that screen there, Dori.
I do see it.
On the DeLorean. Now, the can is something that's phenomenal. White.
It is beautiful.
White with DeLorean Dust written in neon pink.
Yeah.
Over like a aqua.
Turquoise
splash
80s
of paint.
turquoise.
And then, of course, you've got the DeLorean in silver. Dori, you and I both like a turn of phrase. If you want to listen to this descriptor, how they describe the DeLorean Dust IPA. If Doc Brown were to jump in his time machine on a quest to drink a hazy double IPA in 2024, this would certainly be the one. That flux capacitor requires a whole lot of juice to get him back home, and this beer is more than up to the task. An expressive yeast strain strikes with a bolt of tropical-laden ester character, amplified by a not-so-small addition of oily, luscious, lupulin-rich cryo power. Brace yourself. And it's not even done. That's just describing the lupulin cryo power. Brace yourself for a blend of mango, pink guava, pineapple, and lime nectars poured over a pile of cotton candy, creamsicles, and juicy fruit, soft, silky texture, light bitterness, high drinkability, very high gigawatts.
Okay, hang on. This is beer?
Allegedly, I have never...
But it sounds like a cocktail. It sounds sweet.
It sounds very sweet. Look at the can.
Look, when I was in the UK, I had strawberry beer, which was fantastic.
Definitely an acquired taste.
Yeah.
Definitely an acquired taste.
I'd give it a try. Hey, after I tasted that Esprit, I am up for tasting anything.
No, that's what I'm saying. Sold out. Sold out.
Oh,
you
you can't
cannot
get it,
limited edition.
Is it even available here? Or is this like you'd have to order online and it gets couriered?
I imagine it gets couriered, but I mean, I would, if I was working at a post office, I'd steal it.
Well, that's you.
Yeah. Well, if I knew it's a Delorean Dust IPA, I'm definitely taking it. Great Scott. So on that 80s show, we do love Mr. T. I love him. Now, Mr. T did a lot of public service announcement stuff in the 80s. I think he had a TV show where he taught kids how to act right.
Yes.
Not to play the fool.
Yes.
All his little vignettes. He was the go-to for getting your kids to stop acting the bollocks, right? I found something. I found something the other day that I'm going to treat you with. I think we spoke about it once. We've definitely spoken about it, but never at this length. So in this particular vignette, it always starts off with kids in a situation, and then Mr. T did something. Learning moment. In this particular situation, these two kids are dissing their mamas. Your mama's this and your mama's that. So Mr. T appears, right? And then tells his kids, well, you know, your mama's your mama and don't talk about your mama, fool, right?
Right.
But then to emphasize the point, he does a song. So, you know, Mother's Day, if you live in Europe, we know we got listeners around the world, was recently.
One of the previous Sundays?
Yeah, I think 2 weeks ago. South African Mother's Day is coming up. So this is just a good time to understand you got to treat your mother right. As sung by Mr. T and some very fetching ladies that I assume are mamas.
Treat her right, treat your mother right. Treat her right, treat her right.
Mother, there is no other like mother. So treat her right. M is for the moan and the miserable groan from the pain that she felt when I was born. O is for the oven with its burning heat, where she stood making sure I had something to eat. T is for the time that she stayed up nights and took my temperature when I wasn't feeling right. H is for the hard-earned money she spent to keep clothes on my back and try to pay the rent. E is every wrinkle I put on her face and every worry that I caused when I stayed out late. The last letter R is that she taught me respect, and for the room up in heaven that I know she'll get. Mother, there is no other like mother, so treat her right. Mother, I always love her, my mother, so treat her right, treat her right.
Be somebody.
Now, in that, Mr. T is standing on a stage. There are three, the backup singers are dressed as stereotypical moms of the 80s.
In pantsuits.
Pantsuits, power suits. These aren't like demure moms. These are power moms. I want you to describe Mr. T's outfit for us quickly, Dori.
I have just realized why he has such muscular, broad shoulders. Because there is a ton of gold on him around his neck. Like, he has to carry a serious weight with all those chains
That was always the
that
thing.
he wears around his
That was
neck.
always, yeah.
So much so that I cannot remember what the shirt was, but I will never,
Tank top, obviously.
Normal tank top,
Guns,
okay.
yeah.
I will never forget those shorts. In fact, I want those shorts.
I think I have those shorts.
I imagine you would have those shorts. Now, remember in the 80s, there was a specific style of shorts.
Yes.
It was very 80s style. I had a bunch of them.
With that little, like, thigh slit.
Little thigh slit, just a little like dip upwards to show just a little bit extra on the thigh.
I think it
Not
was
ridiculously short, but certainly not any length to discuss.
I think it was a very practical reason because, you know, nowadays we've got lots more materials than we had in the 80s. The 80s, we didn't have many materials. So I think that little slit is for mobility.
Possibly.
I don't think it was for
Well, you had
sexiness.
to like break dance on
Anything.
command.
Yeah, mobility. Of
You had
course,
to dance at any given moment.
any given moment, do a lunge, fight dance. You never know what's coming up.
Yeah.
So you did need the mobility, but you didn't have the materials that allowed you that flexibility.
Well, I had shorts in that style. I had light blue, red,
Good.
shocking pink,
Amazing.
probably yellow,
Yes.
possibly green. I had the spectrum.
How many of them had terry cloth on it?
No. These were like that nylon-y, shiny material.
Okay, yeah.
But I did also have the terry cloth.
'Cause that was
I had the terry cloth all in one short set.
That's good because that's for tennis because
Yeah.
or something I need to wipe my hands. And 80s, they built in a towel onto my clothes.
Body towel.
Body towel. What? There's not enough body towels if you ask me.
But let's go back to Mr. T's shorts.
Okay.
Apart from the style,
Yes.
they are camo.
He's Mr. Frickin' T.
They are camo
You don't wanna
design.
see 'em
I
coming.
want those shorts. I would wear those shorts all the time.
No, so would I. Now, let me go into the lyrics in case you missed them. Mother, because now he uses the words of mother, the letters
The
of
letters,
mother.
yes. He makes a mnemonic.
Great. That's why we have Dori here, people. I just want to take just
Big words.
guys, Dori.
Big words for you.
Dori understands what things are called, right? Valuable. So, mother, there is no other. M is for the moan and the miserable groan. I'm going, hey, what's going on here? From the pain that she felt when I was born. Because you got to go moan, bone.
Right.
Moan, bone.
Yeah, you gotta
can't
sing
say
like Mr. T.
Moan, born. It doesn't
I
work.
think sing is a strong word for what he did.
Rap.
Right, let's go with
That's
it.
definitely rapping. I imagine Mr. T not easy to give birth to. Mohawks got a tickle on the way out. All that gold, it's scratching. It's scratching. So that makes sense. O is for the oven with its burn and heat, where she stood making sure it's something to eat. Big boy ate a lot. Protein. All is feeding him.
Yep.
All is feeding. T is for the time that she stayed up at night and took my temperature when I wasn't feeling right. This happened once. This is Mr. T. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? He was like, maybe once he got sick and she had to take his temperature. You know what his temperature was that day?
I'm sure you're going to tell me.
3.
Yo. 'Cause he was
Cold.
so cool.
Just so cool. 3. H is for the hard money she spent to keep clothes on my back and try to pay the rent. Good mom. Clothes.
Those were cool clothes.
Fortunately, tank tops, tiny shorts, not
Yeah.
a lot of clothes. He didn't
No.
need a lot,
No.
right? Not huge.
Even in winter,
No.
that's what he would wear.
Winter denim vest.
Yes.
To block out the wind.
Sleeveless denim
Sleeveless, you know. E is for every wrinkle I put on her face and every worry that I caused when I stayed out late. Got in trouble.
Can we just say that worries and wrinkles begin with a W? I know the E is for every, but that's reaching.
It's Mr. T.
Okay.
Are you going to tell him? Are you going to tell him?
No.
The man wears Skechers, as we saw a few weeks ago after Super Bowl.
Yes, I love sketches.
The last letter R is that she taught me respect and for the room up in heaven that I know she'll get. Mr. T just loves his mom.
Yeah.
And if you haven't sung a rap song to your mom in the style of Mr. T, can even call yourself a good child. You know?
You are not the good son if you have not sung this song.
No. And in every way, every single way in life, you are inferior to Mr. T. And I think just accept that. Mr. T teaches us, and now I've uncovered a whole world of Mr. T tutorials, Mr. T lessons.
Was that from a specific show where he would sing all the time, or was he just like on that episode? What was that from?
I think that was his show.
Oh.
Mr. Tea Time. I don't know what's called that. But Mr. I wish it was. Tea Time.
Because that other one, remember that other show that we discovered, he wasn't on every episode.
Because that was all different.
It was all different. Remember, we had J-Bay, we had others.
Doing very similar, teaching kids good
Yeah.
lessons. Don't be a dickhead on
So
the
do
bus
you think
playing
this
music
was the
till
same
loud.
show but a different
No,
segment?
he had his own show.
Okay.
We're going to placeholder till we find the name.
We are going to
Time
go
with
down
Mr.
this
T.
rabbit hole.
Now, each week on That 80 Show, we take a multimedia recommendation. Been very good. Lots of movies this week. Last week, Dori, I did a Whoopi Goldberg movie, of which we haven't done Whoopi Goldberg ever. And there was 2 other movies. There was another movie that you weren't sure on Whoopi Goldberg, which I am going to do next week. I'm going to pick up
not
Whoopi
this
Goldberg.
week.
No, because something fell into my lap that is literally gold, right? So I think the movies you were thinking of was either Burglar, of Whoopi Goldberg with Bobcat Goldthwait,
It was indeed Burglar.
or another one called Telephone.
Oh, I don't remember Telephone.
so
I
will-
remember Burglar, though.
Coming up in the next 2 weeks, Burglar, unless something equally awesome as this week falls into my lap, or telephone. But before I get into my movies, Dori, what have you been watching? You seemed very excited.
It's something I've been wanting to do on the show for a while, but I really wanted to watch it. It is in 24 clips on YouTube.
You know, I got to be honest. That has got to be one of the worst, most infuriating. Because what's the one
fine.
called? What's the? There's a specific YouTube channel that does that.
Well, this was some random channel.
Okay, because
So-
this particular one does that.
Wait, it was called Movie Dog
Oh, okay,
or
no.
something like that.
There's one that breaks up the clips and you can kind of watch the movie, but at the end of each 2-3 minute clip, there's this whole vignette that plays in channel links, go to this, and it's like, oh my God, I like it.
Oh, yeah.
okay.
So first of all, it's a playlist, so it does play into each other.
Okay.
But then as soon as you get to, it is like a minute from the end, it ends, and then it goes to, the screen with all the crap. But then you just skip. You just skip to the next video. So it was a relatively seamless experience, actually.
This is what we have to do because we don't believe in piracy.
No. So this is a movie that I loved when I watched it as a kid. It's from 1984. Loved it. Was never traumatized by it. Thought it was the greatest movie ever. Couldn't wait to rewatch it. Remembered it fairly well. And then before I actually rewatched it, I thought, let me find some videos about it to see what other people think of it. And I was quite surprised to find that newish videos reviewing it say that, wow, this is not a kid's movie. This was violent. This was hectic. This was crazy. How did kids watch this in the 80s and not be completely traumatized?
If it wasn't 1984, I'd say Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
No. Different. No. Worse in a way. I mean, because that was about the sex.
I got a suspicion, but let's go.
I don't know. Look, I think you would have seen this movie. It's very funny. So I was watching, and then my teenager joined to watch about halfway through. And I'm going to tell you, like, this was the conversation pretty much the whole way. Oh my God, this is so anxiety inducing. Oh my God, that's so crazy. Is this a child's movie? And then also, what the hell's he wearing? Why is he wearing that? What's he doing? And to every question, I just went, 80s. 80s was the answer to every single question that came up. But yes, my child found it extremely anxiety inducing and was very surprised that it was marketed as a child's movie. One of the videos I watched on YouTube said in the 80s was released as PG, and these days it would be released as like R.
You know what? That's not the movie's fault, though. That's us. We're softer. I mean, come on, get over yourself.
I mean,
RoboCop was freaking PG. They melted a man and shot another man to meat. They shot him to meat.
Yes.
PG.
This wasn't quite as bad as RoboCop, but I'll tell you what made this movie, I suppose, a bit more hectic than I remembered it, is that the main characters are children.
Okay.
And in that typical 80s way, they are children who try and tell adults what's going on. They are not believed. And then they have to do shit by themselves, which is actually too dangerous for them. In the 80s, I thought it was hilarious. As a parent watching it this week, I was like, yeesh.
You know, I'm trying to guess what movie it is, but you're definitely not narrowing it down. It could be friggin' Stranger Things.
I could narrow it down
could
a
be an
little
episode
bit
of
more by telling you the main
The Cosby Show.
character is played by Henry Thomas.
No.
Didn't help.
No.
Henry Thomas, who 2 years before had done E.T. in 1982. E.T. was 1982. He was the child star of that time. He gets cast in this movie. Okay, I'm just going to put you out of your misery. The movie's called Cloak and Dagger.
Yes.
It is basically this kid who's obsessed with video games, but we're talking about like Atari cartridge, very low res 8-bit type video games.
Brilliant games.
Of course, everyone who played them. You see, I was not a gamer.
Yeah.
But why I love this movie and why I related to this movie particularly is he was an only child. I am an only child. The main thing of this movie is that he has this imaginary friend.
Okay.
And I had imaginary friends, like many only children I know.
Like most podcasters with imaginary listeners.
Yes. And the imaginary friend, it takes the form of his dad. So a little bit of context, his mom had just died not long before, and his dad was working all the time. His dad was an Air Force pilot, working all the time, and didn't really have time for him, and he felt a little bit neglected. So he made up this hero, which was one of his figurines from his games that he used to play, and his name was Jack Flack. And Jack Flack would appear in like kind of real life to him, like literally talk to him and stuff. But he looked exactly like his dad. He was basically the same actor, played by Dabney Coleman.
But he wore like he looked like a secret agent.
Yes, he was a spy. So he was from this show, Cloak and Dagger. Well, this game, Cloak and Dagger.
That's sad as shit,
and he
Dori.
was the spy.
You're gonna think if your parent passes away, the deceased parent is the imaginary one.
No,
but it's just, that is so terrible.
It has such a sweet ending, though.
So miserable.
I don't want to ruin the ending, but basically, the hectic bits include the fact that he is in the wrong place at the wrong time. He gets given a game cartridge of Cloak and Dagger by this guy who is immediately then shot by other people in front of this kid, who, by the way, is 8 in the movie. Eight.
Is it, I mean, I suppose, spoiler, is it all of this part of the kid's imagination, or it's really happening?
Only the spy dude, Jack Flack, is in his imagination. This really happens.
Okay.
So this guy, also remember, this is the 80s, Cold War, Russia, America. Yeah. His dad's already in the Air Force.
Did Jack Flack kill the mom?
Did Jack Flack what?
Did Jack Flack kill the mom? Did the dad kill the mom?
No.
Well, we're not doing that.
No.
Okay. All right. 80s.
Calm down. It's
80s,
not
okay.
that bad.
Okay.
But this guy hands him the thing and says, as he's dying, because like they shot him, and as he's dying, he tells him, "Don't let them get hold of whatever, and like look after this, and get it to the FBI or whatever."
Bastards.
And then they kill him, and then this kid runs away, and he's like on the run from these guys who are literally trying to kill him. They are shooting at him. At one point, they kind of corner him on a boat, long story, and they literally lunge at him with a knife to stab him, and he moves out of the way just in time. So we are not saying that they're there to scare him. They are trying to kill
murder a child.
His friend, who is this little girl, also gets kidnapped by these guys. They dangle her over a cliff. She doesn't even scream. 80s.
So he doesn't imagine any of this.
No, this is all real.
It's not.
But they tell their parents,
game.
and their parents do not believe them because, kids have got such a wild imagination. There's no ways you've got actual Russian spies chasing after you.
You children are licking your stickers.
Yeah.
And, eating candy floss. And we know it's
There's
full
no
of
ways
shit.
this is real. You've been playing your video games too much. Your imagination's running away with you. So it does also have that whole theme that comes across in quite a few 80s movies, actually. And it reminded me of a movie from the 70s, which I'll tell you about now as well, where children just have to fend for themselves because adults do not believe them and will not come to help them until the very, very end, where it becomes literally life and death.
Well, I think in the society in late 70s and early 80s, I don't know if we had it at that point in South Africa yet, but latchkey kids. The concept, because both parents were working and kids were just pretty much...
No, the kids were totally left. At one point, the little girl, who is probably... Her character was younger than him, so she's, 6 or 7. She catches a bus at midnight to meet him at the airport to try and stop these spies. She catches a bus by herself at midnight. My teenager going, how is the bus driver not saying anything? And I'm like, 80s.
Yeah.
What am I saying here? It's 80s.
Yeah, exactly.
I just want to actually read you, but it's really fun. It's a really fun movie.
Yeah,
it's got a cool ending.
You sold it, child murder.
No, it's so great. It's so great.
Russians trying to murder children.
When they interviewed Henry Thomas about it, I assume when he was still a child, he said, the film was pretty exciting. It's got some violence in it. I get to fire a gun. Because yes, in the movie, he literally kills someone.
What's going on here? This is not fucking around with aliens anymore.
This is what I'm saying. This is why people are going, oh my God, this is not a child's movie. But I loved it as a kid.
Cloak and Dagger, unreal.
Still a great film. Watch it in 24 clips on YouTube.
I did a bit of a Google image search, and now I am confused because what I initially thought of is that there is a Marvel comic called Cloak and Dagger, and then obviously every comic gets made into a TV show.
Yeah, there is some new series called Cloak and Dagger. Do not confuse it. Type Cloak and Dagger 1984.
But it seems that there was an actual real video game called. So this was based on a real video game called Cloak and Dagger.
Possibly. I don't know. I don't know video games.
Cloak and Dagger is an arcade video game released in 1984 as a tie-in for the movie. So it was gameplay. You were walking around in a circle. It was a shooter game. Yeah, so a tie-in game that goes with Cloak and Dagger movie. This is good times.
Henry Thomas is such a cute kid. And then the teenager says to me, "Oh, he's got such beautiful eyes." And I'm like, you know who he is as an adult because you've recently watched a show with him.
What's he in? I did see him in something
The Fall
recently.
of the House of Usher.
Okay, yes, that was it, yeah.
So I reminded the child who he was in The Fall of the House of Usher. And I got a look of horror going, oh my God, he grew up so ugly. And I was like, sorry, okay, apologies to Henry Thomas, but he has not aged well. He has not aged well.
He looks pretty strung out, I got to be honest.
Like he was a really cute kid. And
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose we were all cute kids and none of us, not all of us have aged well. But
Yes, true story.
he really didn't age well. I don't know what happened.
When you got those royalty checks, you don't need to be pin-up anymore. So that you said, that's after E.T. he did this?
Yes,
So
yes, 2
his
years afterwards. So he's
cachet
slightly older.
is an all-time high. Great movie, Dori. Cloak and Dagger, 24 clips on YouTube if you want to watch it. A movie falls into my lap this week. Yeah.
I'm excited.
So it started off about, Dori, I do apologize. I don't remember at all you reviewing the movie The Ice Pirates. And I was
just don't know how you could have forgotten it.
I don't know completely. I don't know how I missed that one. And I remember that episode I remember that entire episode. I don't remember that episode.
I mean,
Anyway,
how often do you speak about castration? How often do we speak about castration on the show? Okay, probably more than most, but not as often as others.
No, not as much as we should.
perhaps.
I feel we're not talking about removing,
Castration machines in space.
that all got chomping teeth. But anyway, so I was so disappointed because I so wanted to do a movie in that genre. And cousin Louie comes to the rescue. He goes, "Oh, do I have a movie for you?" So now the thing that happened in the 80s is that, like, this happened in the 80s. It happened in the 2000s with vampire movies. It happened in the 90s with like all these natural born killer pulp fiction copycats. And then it happened in the 2010s with superhero movies that once you get something that works, everyone makes one. So obviously in the 80s you had Star Wars. So everyone was like, shit, make a Star Wars. Every studio, make a Star Wars. So we end up with things like Dune. We end up with things with like Ice Pirates. Everyone wanted their own Star Wars. So this very much falls into that, right? To the point that this movie, they even got ILM, Industrial Light and Magic, to do the space effects. Okay?
Oh, well, then they're definitely better than Ice Pirates,
Better than Ice Pirates.
which were polystyrene.
Still looks good. So it looks like it's very Star Wars looking, very Star Wars adjacent. Now the story goes, you've got humans and this alien race. Okay, I don't think we're in the future. We are in the future. We're in the 21st century. So we're now, like 2023, basically in the 80s, right? And the humans have waged this all-out war with a race of aliens called Drax. Okay, they're like these, described here as bipedal reptilian humanoids, right? Not great looking.
Okay.
And we're supposed to hate them. They're supposed to be everything that we don't like the look at. I want to show you a Drac. If you'll just peep at the screen over there, that's what a Drac looks like. That Drac in particular looks like he's pooping. Okay?
Is this not Enemy Mine?
Dori, my movie is Enemy Mine.
We've spoken about Enemy Mine
we have
before.
spoken about Enemy Mine. We have never reviewed Enemy Mine.
Are you sure?
And this is what I'm doing today because, Dori, I questioned it. And I was like, there is no way we would have covered Enemy Mine, my movie of the week, with Dennis Quaid and Lou
Gossett Jr.
Gossett Jr.
Great movie.
as the main stars without these factoids I'm about to give you. So we're in the 21st century, a war between humans and Drax, right? And
Which is a metaphor for a war between black and white, right?
well, this is kind of how the whole thing goes. So in this like dogfight between the main human and the main Drac, they crash on this planet and they abandon together. And now they need to actually work together to survive, to get off this planet, right? So Dennis Quaid is the human and Louis Gossett Jr. is the Drac in very heavy makeup. And of course, they hate
makes
each other.
a cool noise.
It makes this really cool noise.
sound.
They imagine Russian backwards and this gurgling sound, which
Weird gurgle, yeah. I
Louis
remember
Gossett
that.
Jr. could do. It's just a weird thing that he can do. And they said, cool, that's how this alien's going to talk. And now they have to, first they hate each other, and now they obviously have to work together.
And see each other's humanity.
Exactly. Now, then, to complicate things, the Drac has a child. He births a child. Because the Dracs are asexual and they can impregnate themselves.
All right.
Now, here's my question.
Like a seahorse.
Like a seahorse. But here's my question number one. You're now stuck on a cave with another human, life or death. This arouses the Drac so much that he impregnates himself?
No, I think that you probably misunderstand Drac society. It's not about sexual arousal. It's about the survival
Population.
instinct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so because he's like in a bad situation,
Yes, he has to.
he's got
He
to.
has to continue the race.
I don't know. Dennis Quaid looked pretty good because at this point he's got big
Dennis
beard,
Quaid
long
did
hair.
look good in the 80s.
You know, this is him just before Inner Space.
Oh, very
so
nice, Dennis
I'm
Quaid.
like, if I'm a Drac, I'm kind of going, yeah, I'm going to sneak away for a moment, put a little bun in the oven. You know,
Even though you don't need Dennis Quaid to help you with it.
no, but I can think. I've got imagination. I've got Drac imagination.
Drac vision.
Drac vision. So anyway, okay, so thank you for clearing that up for me. And then, of course, now he has this child and he dies during childbirth. And now Dennis Quaid has made a promise to get the Drac back to his planet. Then there's a whole weird story about there's mining happening on the planet. Doesn't really make sense because what happened is that this whole movie is based on a sci-fi novel. Did really well. But when they produced it, they said there's no mine in this novel. It's called Enemy Mine. There's no mine. And obviously there was a metaphor.
Yes.
And then they made the mine. And it just makes no sense in the movie.
Yeah, that's dumb.
It's just, anyway.
I always interpret it as enemy mine as in my enemy.
I think that's what the novel went into. Don't interpret it as a literal mine.
Yeah,
But
that's-
Hollywood, you got to have a mine. So
80s, all about the gold.
evil guys, there's mines, there's a whole mine story. Dennis Quaid, everyone loves them. Everyone, happy ending. Everyone loves each other. The movie bombed out because it's now people who are hungry for Star Wars type stuff and they go watch this movie because it's kind of Star Wars-ish. There's two guys talking to each other. There's a lot of talking.
It's a very arty movie.
It's very arty, but
I remember seeing it on the big screen and really liking it.
you see, if you're a Star Wars bro, you're going,
See, I wasn't a Star Wars person.
but like, there's no fighting here. They had some
Yeah.
fighting. Now
No,
they're
it's very
talking.
cerebral.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
And then the cerebral people are going, what the fuck's this lizard man doing, impregnating himself? Like, this is, maybe get it, right? So the movie didn't do well, obviously becomes a cult classic, right? Now, as I said, Dennis Quaid pre-Inner Space. Louis Gossett Jr. was a friggin' Oscar winner. He won Best Supporting Actor for Officer and a Gentleman.
Huh.
And this is his next movie. So this wasn't a fuck around movie.
Did this movie win for like best makeup or anything like that? Didn't it win something?
It could have. I didn't see
I think
anything
it
like
was
that.
very good makeup.
The makeup's phenomenal. The sets are phenomenal. I'll come to the sets. Got a fantastic factory.
Okay.
This is how I know we've never done this movie before. And so there was problems with the director. They changed director. They offered it to Terry Gilliam, who was doing Brazil at the time.
Oh,
Right? Now imagine this kind of twist here. And then they go next to Wolfgang Peterson. Now, if you think you know that name, he was in the middle of Neverending Story. And then he was like, oh, I don't really want to do two fantasy movies into each other because then I'm the fantasy guy. And then they went, but here's some money. And he went, fantasy guy, you called. That's my middle name. So they actually waited for him to finish Neverending Story, have his break, and then he comes in and he goes, everything you shot is shit. We're starting again. Going to do my own movie. He brings in a composer, a man by the name of Maurice Jarre.
oh yes, yes.
Who?
Maurice Jarre.
Maurice Jarre is the father of Jean-Michel Jarre. So many little factoids in this movie, Dori. But the best one. So when you say like sets were really good,
Yeah, because it's supposed to be some strange planet,
some
right?
strange planet. The spaceship scenes really good. ILM. They built really good sets. Not Star Wars level.
This is not Ice Pirates
No,
level, though.
not at all.
Way better.
Not at all. They had money. There was definitely money behind this. This is when you got Louis Gossett Jr. and friggin' Dennis Quaid. Dennis Quaid was like the next big thing, right? The makeup, Louis Gossett Jr., fantastic makeup for 80s, for the 80s.
yeah.
Wouldn't hold up now. The set that they shot, then gets used, which is not uncommon in Hollywood. They build these elaborate sets. They go, well, that cost us a lot of money. Do we destroy it? No, we don't. A lot of sets get used for music videos.
Oh, okay.
This movie from 1984, I think it was 1982 actually. I lie altogether, 1985. In the year 2003, a German band from the 80s doing a bit of a comeback shoots their music video on one of the sets. In 2003, for a song called TV Makes the Superstar, Modern Talking shot this video on the set of Enemy Mine.
Okay. Hang on.
I'm hanging.
The set still existed in 2003?
This is not an uncommon thing in Hollywood, I believe. Because they build these sets and they go, this thing's so elaborate, and then they rent them out for videos.
But
ads.
that means it was used for other things in between.
I'm not saying Thomas
Yeah.
Anderson, was the first person to walk in there in 30 years, 20
Yeah.
years, but
Yeah.
certainly, he's there.
Right.
So, of course, I watched this music video. They even made a spaceship. They even did some of the effects looked so similar to Enemy Mines. 2003, TV Makes a Superstar. There you have Thomas Anders on the set of Enemy Mines. Circle. It's a never-ending story, literally.
Ah.
And you may say Jean-Michel Jarre strikes a resemblance to Thomas Anders. I think it's just the long hair.
Wow.
I think
Yeah,
it's just, I think
now
it's
you're
just
reaching.
I think it's just there. But anyway, I love that factoid. I enjoyed the movie Enemy Mines. Give
Yeah.
it a watch. It's very interesting. Just know there's a lot of talking.
Oh, I know.
Lots. Funny
But
moments.
it's deep.
It's very deep.
It's very deep and
Some
it's
funny
very
moments.
moving.
It's one of those things that if it wasn't two such good actors, it'd be a piece of shit. I'd still review
Oh,
it.
yeah.
I'd
Of course.
I'd still love it.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't watch
But
it.
it actually it had some cred because of who the actors were.
Yeah.
I remember it being quite well received, at least in arty circles.
So not in box office circles, but it is more arty. It is very arty. Weird arty.
Yeah.
Weird for a movie
I want to
like
watch
that
it
to be
again.
arty.
You've made me want to watch it again, and I'm certainly going to go find that music video.
Oh, that music video. I'm definitely posting that music video, that 80 Show SA Facebook. Everything we talk about on the show today can be found there. That is Cloak and Dagger from Dori and Enemy Mine from me. That's Mine movie. As I said in the beginning of the show, you walked in, there was a smell of a very particular 80s deodorant. The one in the green can, spelled B-R-U-T.
Got it.
Okay,
Right.
so exactly. How did you just pronounce it?
The way you pronounce it, Brut.
Brut. So I say this to very good friend, cousin Louis, and he laughs. He says, I love the way you always call it Brut. I'm like, but that's the name. He goes, no,
Oh, you weren't joking?
no.
You thought it was really called Brut?
Where's the E?
No, come
So
on.
it's
Do you not remember the ads?
Well, Dori, it's almost as if, and I know you didn't do any prep nor saw the running order.
No.
But it's almost as if we did both those things. Because I go, no, it's Brut. And he goes, no, it's
I
pronounced
honestly
Brute.
thought you were always joking when you said that.
I honestly thought it was Brut because there's no E. Okay? So
But it's French.
that deodorant is pronounced Brute.
Yes.
So to get the best pronunciation, I go Google some Brute ads. Now, Dori,
Oh, I remember those Brute ads.
I'm going to play some for you. You're going to hear some now. You'll hear
Excellent.
the audio.
Yeah.
From the audio straight away, you know what's happening. But Dori's going to describe. Dori and I will describe each ad for you. Brute ads were very soft porn.
Oh, yeah.
I picked out 3 in particular.
Excellent.
Sort of ads will make you impregnate yourself if you're a drag.
Or even if you're not.
So the first one is from Brute, an ad, 1987, a Brute commercial called It Smells Like a Man. We're going to play the audio, and afterwards, Dori will explain to you what you've seen.
For every man who wears Brute, there's a woman who loves what he smells like. Because there's something about Brute that's nice to be close to. And nobody knows that better than a woman. Brute. It smells like a man.
Hello? Honey, I was just thinking about you.
Brute. It smells like a man.
So, ordinarily, I wouldn't say something that says it smells like a man is a positive thing. Ordinarily.
Oh, I think it was a place. I'm warm. I am warm after watching that.
It's also because there's no aircon.
Give me a little fan. Give me a little fan.
It's fan Paulo. There we go.
Yeah.
It was, I actually vaguely remember that ad from TV.
Opens with a woman in a negligee.
Yes.
Because 80s, you only had negligees.
Of course. And
Drinking,
it's a white negligee, of course.
White negligee. Drinking a tea.
She's got very 80s hair.
So huge. She gets up, and obviously now her husband's not at home, and she's missing him and starts wearing his clothes. So she can smell like brute.
And, of course, shows her letting the negligee fall to the floor.
Panty dropper. Brute is literally a panty dropper. Literally.
She's sensually touching the clothes in the cupboard.
Give me that fan, Dori.
Then you see the bottle of Brut. Brute.
No, it's
Let's
brute
go with
now.
brute now.
No, it's brute.
But I used to like the way you said Brut.
No, I can't. That's just too sexy. I can't even call it.
Okay.
It's just Brut is like smut. Brute is like up the shoot. I don't know, but it's like that now for me.
And then, of course, you hear the phone ring, and she very flirtingly says,
well, it sounds like a sex line.
well,
It's good.
maybe.
It's a 0800 number.
Oh, honey.
Yes.
Oh, honey, I'm thinking about you.
Oh, my word. This is filthy, this advert. Filthy. I'm going to take you to the next one. Now, the next one is a lot more visual. Check this one out. There is a lady, very Russian era looking, on a, what are they called those?
Chaise longue?
A chaise lounge.
Chaise longue.
Okay, playing chess, but all the chess pieces are Brut. Now, there's not much talking, but the music here, I'm going to tell you, don't watch this if you're listening to this at work, people are going to go, that guy's watching porn.
Yeah.
So I think just if you're listening to this in not like a headphoned environment, just tell everyone, I am not watching porn. These are ads from the 80s.
In other words, porn.
Guaranteed. Okay, they will be on that 80 Show SA Facebook page so you can prove it. But just say, guys, not watching a porno. It's very saucy. She's then there's a new Brut actually. There's like one in like a silver.
Practically speaking, this is a ridiculous game of chess because the bottles are all the same. How do you know which piece is which? This is ridiculous. As someone who appreciates the game of chess, I have a problem with that.
Well, what I just want to talk about. So Dori is saying, so what happens there? They're playing with Brut. And then suddenly there's a silver bottle, obviously a limited edition type of thing. I do actually somehow remember that. But the lady she's now sitting up on her chaise lounge. She's wearing a robe. She's definitely wearing nothing underneath. But now very suggestively, her legs are open. Her legs, and they're putting the bottle near her opening and her face.
Her special place.
Her drac hole. And look at the placements of the bottlenecks.
Yes.
Definitely.
It is very suggestive. Her robe is really like kind of falling open by the breast area.
I mean, where the boob tape is doing a lot of heavy lifting here.
Yes.
You know, so, I mean, you want to look at this yourself, that 80 Show SA Facebook page.
Why do you think Brute was a best-selling cologne?
I mean, guys.
Now you know.
I'm watching I'm like, ladies are dropping their panties. They're playing chess with sex toys. It's all happening.
I mean, they're implying that you can use the bottle for other purposes.
Oh, my word.
That's what they're implying.
Naughty housewives. Kids, go play outside. Daddy bought some Brute. And I want to end on this one. All of these I got to explain to you is soft focus as hell.
Yes.
There is so much Vaseline smeared on the camera lenses. Okay.
I thought you were going to say somewhere else. Sure.
Well, everywhere. Vaseline was part of the catering budget. Let's put it that way. And here is the final one. Brut Smut commercials.
For every man who wears Brute deodorant, there's a woman who'll be glad he did. Because a man who wears Brute deodorant is nice to be close to. And nobody knows that better than a woman. Only Brute deodorant gives you long-lasting protection with the great smell of Brute. Brute deodorant, cologne, and everything else. Brute. It smells like a man.
Great.
Now, what I want to say at this point, for the first time in these commercials, you see a man.
Yes.
Because the other two women, you only saw a man's hand.
Yeah.
And I found those empowering. Because it kind
Okay.
of said like, you're a woman, you take control of your own sexuality.
Right.
Now there's a man, this man's going to pleasure you.
And that man just did not live up to my fantasy personally.
Really?
No.
Yeah,
No, he was very meh.
Yeah, there was no
Well,
face.
there was more than one, but they were all very
I
meh.
feel there could have been a stronger moustache game in any of those men.
None of them
no-
looked like Magnum.
No, none of them. Good perms from the men.
Perhaps too much perm. That
Too
was
much
the
perm.
problem.
Maybe it was too much perm.
Yeah.
Too much perm. So for me, that one's different because it's a whole bunch of shots of man puts on brat, woman
And then they're
hugs
like
him.
kind of like hugging.
There's
It's-
rain on the window
Yeah,
on the window pane.
that one was not as smutty.
It wasn't smutty. It was very like
Almost a family-friendly version of that.
look, I still think this is you getting sent to bed when this ad gets played, but you're told to go leave the room. The other two, you're getting sent to bed.
Maybe.
This one, leave the room. I found the first two way more empowering, very suggestive in some of the copy things they're saying.
Yes.
Because it did say something
I
for
also found that
for
one
her
very
pleasure.
forceful, saying like,
just quite on the
that
nose.
like it was very like, if he doesn't wear brute, he's not a man, basically.
and
It was very judgy.
yeah,
actually.
and you allow him to take you. Where I feel the first two are empowering.
yeah.
It's you're in control. These were like, no, this man, he wears brute, and you are just going to like
Let
just
him spin you around,
Yeah.
like in that one shot. He's
he
spinning her
literally spins
around.
He's going to drag you. So that is brute commercials. So who thought that a miscreant E could lead me to E late night porn?
I still
those of
can't
you who grew
believe
up in
that
the
you weren't
2000s.
making fun of it all
wasn't.
these years.
I legitimately thought it
All
was
these
Brett.
years you've been saying Brett. I honestly thought you were doing it as a joke.
No.
Wow.
Wait till I get into how I pronounce Arami. So that 80 show, we've been playing something for the past few weeks from a website called The Past Factory. They got Guess the 80 song by the first line. Now, Dori,
How far are we in this quiz?
we are 42% done.
Oh my goodness, we're not even halfway.
We haven't got one wrong yet.
I know.
We are on 42% played, 42% correct. Now, Dori, this is a play-at-home game, and I need to ask you to just hold those like armrests tight, okay,
Okay.
and not jump into it.
All right. I will.
Because it's a game for listeners that can play along with us.
Yes, I won't.
Right.
I won't jump in with the answer
Okay,
too enthusiastically.
Yeah, we just got to give people an option, let them play along at home. Now, what happens, it is very easy to play because they give you a line from a song. The options are it's multiple choice. Then they put a photo of the band. Don't necessarily say who the band is, but you'll see a
No.
photo of the band.
Well, I mean, you won't always know from the photo who the
No.
band is, but from the song titles, you should know.
And all the options are from one band.
Yes, and
So-
they're usually that band's hits.
Yes.
So unless you don't know the band and their songs at all,
Yeah.
you should be okay.
So, like, I wasn't sure about this. Okay, we're going to give you the song title and give you the options, give you a beat to think of what it is, and then we'll announce it, and then you'll, in your head, you go, sing it. Na, 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 na. Oh, okay, yeah, that is it, right? Okay.
Right.
So, looking in your eyes, I see Paradise. That is from the band Starship.
Yes.
It is either We Built the City. Yeah. Sarah. Yeah. Nothing's going to stop us now from the fantastic movie Mannequin.
Yes.
And It's Not Enough. It's Not Enough, not as big as the other three.
Yeah. Don't even know it.
Looking in your eyes, I see Paradise, Dori. Is it from, I'm going to give you two
I
options.
see a paradise.
I see a Paradise. Dori can't see shit from anywhere, but suddenly she sees an A. Man,
No, I just know the song very well.
Okay.
Because it was a song that I used to listen to many times. I was dating a boy in the 80s. This was our song in inverted commas.
So, Dori's giving you a clue there.
Yeah.
If this was linked to a movie, are we talking about We Built the City out of rock and roll, or Nothing's going to stop us now?
Can I give the answer?
Go give the answer.
It's definitely Nothing's Going to Stop Us Now.
It's definitely Nothing's Going to Stop Us Now by Starship from the movie Mannequin. Kim Cattrall, give her a shout out. Mm-hmm. One of your boys?
Andrew McCarthy.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
I just like the way he said. Ooh, this is tricky. This is a little bit tricky because that's Sting. Is it? Ooh, because the first title is Guess the 80s song by the first line. Baby Don't Understand. Is it Love? Broken Wings? it's Kiri or Kari.
Kiri.
Kiri, Hunters of the Night. Ooh, I
know the band. Would you want some help?
Who is the band?
It's Mr. Mister.
It's Mr. Mister. I am going to go with Is It Love?
You're wrong.
Well, I haven't selected an option yet. Broken Wings.
Correct.
Oh, thank you for Dori coming in at the last minute, saving me, keeping our 100% record right, playing the game. Guess the 80s song by the first line. Next. Oh, Journey.
Oh, come on.
Can see the band Journey. Just a small town girl living in a lonely world.
This is way too easy.
This is way too easy, thankfully, because those first two, tricky.
Yeah, well, no,
Tricky.
not really.
Tricky.
Fine.
Tricky.
For you.
Tricky for me. Just a small town girl living in a lonely world.
What
Obviously,
are the options?
Well, I mean, every Journey song, separate ways, any way you want it, faithfully. And of course, it is from the song Don't Stop Believing. Mm-hmm. Correct. Thank you very much. Ooh. The title is, it's a boy band.
Yes.
5 very pretty boys. Duran Duran. Moving on the floor now, Babe, You're a Bird of Paradise. The options are Girls on Film, Rio, Save a Prayer, or Hungry Like the Wolf. Moving on the floor now, Babe, You're a Bird of Paradise.
I'm actually not entirely sure.
I'm going to think Bird of Paradise is Rio.
I've got to think how that goes. Wow, my brain is letting me down on this one. I'm not sure.
It's Duran Duran.
It's definitely Duran Duran. Okay. It's not Girls on Film.
I don't know. I think Bird of Paradise is Rio.
What are the other options?
Hungry Like the Wolf, Save a Prayer. They're big one. They're big hits.
Sure. I'm trying to think how any of those songs start.
We got to take a punt, Dori. Rio?
Oh my God, we might get one wrong. This is very stressful.
Rio?
Very stressful. You want to go with Rio?
Moving on the floor now, Babe, You're a Bird of Paradise. I'm just saying Bird of Paradise and Rio.
I know, but it could be a trick.
80s or no, it's 80s, right on the nose. There was no subterfuge.
I realize that my Duran Duran knowledge is not as good as I thought.
Oh, correct. It was Rio. Oh, thank God. That was tight.
That was stressful.
That was tight.
That was like watching Cloak and Dagger in these days.
We got to look for the clues. That was tight. That was tight. And final one for this week. Almost like I lost it there. The options are, well, guessing the 80s song by the first line.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel I've got to run away.
Oh, come on.
Dun. Say hello, wave goodbye. Torch. Where did our love go? Tainted Love. It is Soft Cell.
Of course.
Sometimes I feel bump.
I've got to run away.
Got to run away. If that didn't help you, listeners, of course it is Tainted Love.
Yo, easy one at least.
5 out of 5 once again, Dori. We're approaching, and that is 50%.
That was a tough one. We're at 50%.
We're
halfway.
at 50%, and we have
How long have we been doing this now? 3 years?
Yeah, it feels this is a long quiz.
A very long quiz.
But it's great. So much content. You think 80s content just falls into your lap? Sometimes it does.
Yes.
And the fortunate thing is our memories are terrible. And we may repeat it. But you know what? We know there's new people coming into the show all the time and regaling new stuff. New people on the Facebook page all the time. Really nice to see all of you. Thank you. Send your comments. Thanks for listening to the show. That 80 Show SA on Facebook. Dori, your favorite thing you learned in the show today?
OMG, I've got to think now. What did I learn in the show today?
Let's go back right to the first thing we spoke about.
Definitely that Mr. T had a show where he would sing/rap things to children. That I was not expecting.
Mother, there is no other.
And that he loves his mother so much.
Mr. T love his mama?
Yeah.
Mr. T def loves his mama. Thanks for joining me, Dori. Goodbye.